Attention, everybody. The views and opinions expressed on the show are not necessarily those of Acts Ministry, Acts Media Group, and or its affiliate and subordinate ministries and or nonprofits. Some of the content may be adult in nature, so please use discretion while watching with your children. Listen to this whole song. To start it off, we're going to listen to this song.
We've got Dennis.
Oh, that explains that. He's got a face for radio, too.
Blood, I've been set free. Your sacrifice saved my soul. Without his light to show the way, I'd fall out in a deep dark hole. He died for us, it's in the book.
We're live on audio.
Even though he lived
Yay.
in sin,
Dennis is not.
no matter what the
Dennis, wave if you can hear me.
Lord Jesus looks within.
Is he waving?
No, he just put his earbuds in. Dennis,
You
there
have
he
to-
is.
yeah, he can hear us, but
Yep.
we can't hear him.
We can't hear you yet, Dennis.
We're
We're gonna play this whole song.
Now I'm forgiven. I'm forgiven. I'm forgiven. I'm forgiven.
Though we fail him and though we fall, when we let him down,
I'm gonna make that sandwich.
You go for it.
says his dad's forgiveness, my child. That's why I wore the crown. The crown of thorns is naked.
Wrote this song back in 2012, I believe.
He went through that for all of us, and he saved us from our shame.
Background vocals sang by Cheryl Summit, otherwise known as Cheryl.
Yeah, I'm forgiven.
Funny thing,
You are the
I'll let you guys hear the song.
You are the truth.
Welcome to the learning curve.
You are the life inside of me. You are the way. You are the truth. You are the life inside of me. You are the way. You are the truth.
Your
You
Pastor
are the
Sammy
life
Nobles in there.
inside of me. You are the way. You are the truth. You are the life inside of me.
I think one of these days I'll bring in my guitar and just start doing some of these songs in the unplugged version. So we're glad to have you guys with us today on the learning curve. We got Dennis waiting in the wing, so it's going to be fun. Dennis is hanging out up above us, right? In the
Not
ether.
yet. We're not even on there yet. Now
No?
we're there. Well, I was playing that music,
Oh, yeah.
and I was going to except I was making a sandwich now.
And now you're going to be eating a peanut butter.
Good morning
sandwich.
to our informal representation of the learning curve.
Yep, it
Where
is.
we are trying to learn to use the technology available to us more proficiently. Because before we advance and make new changes and learn new technologies and add technologies, we want to have a better understanding of the ones that are available to us, which are really amazing, and we can add a lot of capabilities to our platform
Yep.
or I don't know if we're a platform or a
We're a platform.
or a publisher. I think there's a specific definition to those two things.
Yeah, well, I think we're probably a publishing platform.
Right.
So,
But that does, if we're a publisher, we are responsible for the content.
yeah.
and we can censor and decide what content we allow.
Yeah.
If we are a
So then-
platform,
So then we're a publisher.
then we don't have a right to censor the.
So we're a publisher then.
Yeah, but as a publisher, we are responsible for the content.
Yeah. So today we have no real like plan on what we're
We're
gonna
going to
do.
bring Dennis on.
We're gonna bring Dennis on. He's probably still waiting in the wing there somewhere.
He is.
Yeah. Now there should be, if you'll look, there'll be one with him floating in the air. So
I see him there.
bring him on. Morning, Dennis.
I'm floating in the air, man. What's
Man,
going on?
it's like we're both thinking of you at the same time, and you're
Yeah.
coalescing up in the air.
Yeah, there he is.
Like the way my
This-
head
Are we gonna pick his
shines.
nose? Can we pick his nose? Tell me if
Look,
I'm
I
close
got
to
a
his nose.
halo.
I'm gonna try to grab those headphones. I can't reach the headphones, Dennis.
Yeah.
So hey, there you are. I can see you. It's like
I saw the guys for the
It's
new
like
show
point of
today. That was
view.
good.
yeah, it's like the point of view from your computer. That's it. We're your computer right now. We are.
No, you're
not. So if people are watching are affected, remember the $100 giveaway is randomly selected. There was a little bit of a confusion about it. Whoa, hey, books. There was a bit of a confusion. What's that Bible behind you? Is that a Bible? It looks like a leather Bible hanging back there.
There's a dog.
Is
Is
that
there another one?
Baxter?
There's Baxter. Yeah.
That dog is autistic, I think.
Yeah, he's got issues.
Yeah.
Lots of issues. I think because on some of the posts it said tell your friends, but you're telling your friends so they have a chance to win. So I think
Yeah, there was a big
that
and
was cool.
some gentlemen from the Middle East are having a hard time accepting that they did not get the $100. Well, it's a randomly
They have a
selected
chance
winner
next week.
drawn
week, actually,
from
they have a
people
chance.
who have liked our posts, right?
We're gonna have to work that out. 'Cause
Yeah,
we gotta have a better,
Like and follow is the thing that Facebook tracks real easy, and subscribe on YouTube.
Well,
Those are the
and
things
people
that are
have to
easy to
understand-
track and that we can do a random drawing for.
And there has to be a date to it because, including the year, because these are permanently up
Well-
there. Anybody watches this 10 years from now, we don't want us to have said something incorrectly during a pre-recorded show, where somebody might understand that if they like and share this now, they can win $100. 10 years from now.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
we really need to
Well,
get
they're
it
all
on
time.
the-
They're
That
all
happens
time.
all the time.
And say for this week only, so
I mean, it's not like you watch a TV show from the 50s that has a advertisement for Wheaties and you think, oh, I can go out and buy that same box of Wheaties.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
well, I just wanted to clarify that. Priscilla Kemp is watching our show today. Today we're just hanging out with Dennis, or Dennis is hanging out in the air with us.
Any ideas?
Yeah,
about
well,
what we could work
I was
with?
trying it with with just using cheap little headphones on my phone.
That's what we're doing. We're
Seeing-
trying to see if the headphones
Because
play.
you were talking about the delay and stuff last time, so wanted to
Yeah.
see how that felt and all that kind of stuff.
Well, we want to be able to proficiently coach somebody through the link and what to expect while they're on a show that way, so that we can have a good, fluid conversation instead of all the
Yeah.
people interrupting each other and not really getting the timing down. And
Yeah.
that they might initially need some time to adjust to the delay and in order to have a good, meaningful conversation.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sorry. I've
So
got-
if you ask me a question, then how quickly would I answer after you ask me? Is there a delay?
we did a pen up, pen down thing last time. It's like
Hey.
I'm lifting
Yep.
up a pen.
How about this? Let's just
Like
have
this
a
one?
conversation. Dennis, I'm interested in you and who you are. So I want to know
Is that a hookah in the background?
Just a couple.
where
Is that really? Is
No.
that a hookah back there?
No.
It looks like a
Oh,
hookah.
is that what? Up by the bicycle?
Is that? Oh, wait, it's a bicycle. Never mind. Looking at
There's
it
an air
from here,
hose hanging.
Yeah.
there's an air
so you
hose
can see
hanging
where it
from
looks like a hookah. Which there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with hookahs.
No, I keep
don't-
that in the other room.
Yeah.
where are you from, Dennis?
I am from Wisconsin, from a small town in Wisconsin.
Jane's Hotel there, Wisconsin there, don't you know?
Although we
I
called
see
them
that.
villages up there.
So you're
I'm
a
not sure why.
Canadian.
So you're a Canadian.
Yeah, eh? No, I'm in Wisconsin.
Don't you know?
I eat
there,
cheese and I
how
root
long-
for the Packers.
How long did you live there?
18 years. When I was 18, I left home and started hitchhiking around the country.
Wow.
That was, man,
What was it like growing up in Wisconsin for 18 years in a small town?
It was cold.
Yeah. How about family? You remember much about
Well,
your
it's-
mom and dad?
Yeah. They when I went into junior high, they had bought a house with a swimming pool. So yeah, it was a good deal. Indoor swimming pool. So I got to swim a lot. But,
What's your best?
and then
memory
they
of
were
it?
they were square dancers, so they did square dancing a lot.
So you must have really had the chicks.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, sorry, that was too personal of a question, and you are an honest man, so I will not delve more deeply into.
No,
it.
it's fine. You can
Line
ask
poetry.
anything.
But
Nothing's off
why,
limits.
why leave if it sounded pretty good? Why leave? Why hitchhike around the country?
because it's probably was
Well, yeah. Well, I wanted to see and meet people from all over the country and learn about people. Because at that time I had met the Lord and I knew He called me into ministry, so I figured I wanted to meet a lot of people from a lot of different places in the country, so I could get a feel for what it was like.
Right. Did your perception of this country, this nation that we live in, or even the world, the greater and wider world, change after you had hit the road and hitchhiked around?
I don't know if you'd say changed, it expanded.
Right.
Better
I found that-
understanding.
I found that people are cultures are a little different. People have some different ideas, but people are, in general, people are really quite the same. Don't you think so?
Yeah,
There's
the
different
main
characters and-
difference was language.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What was
like
the
I
most
came
unique thing
when
that surprised you?
it surprised me. Hmm, I don't know. I can't think of any surprises. I don't get surprised real easy.
Like you didn't come across anybody that said A, and you were like, A what? B?
Oh, that was the one thing that surprised me is people would say that I had an accent and I couldn't figure out what they were talking about.
It's like, man, I
It's
couldn't
work-
figure out what they were talking about there, don't you know?
Yeah, yeah. I'd be like, what are you talking about, eh? I don't know what you mean. But yeah, I couldn't figure that out. And then yeah, just words were different. Like I remember
Right.
seeing some friends of mine and they're like, "Hey, Dennis," and I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "Just hey," and I'm like, "Oh," because in Wisconsin when I grew up, if you said "hey," it was like, "Hey, what are you kids doing over there?" You didn't
Right,
say
it
hi by
required
saying
an
"hey." Yeah,
Usually
you'd
you're
say
in
hi.
trouble whenever someone said, "Hey."
Exactly.
Right. You sit up
And
and
then
pay attention.
when I moved here to Springfield, there was a gal at the checkout, and I'm getting ready to check out. And of course, this is after I traveled quite a bit and everything, but still, she got me. She was
Did you
like,
go east
"You
to
want a
west?
sack with that?" I was like, "What?" She's like, "You want a sack with that?" I'm like, "One more time. You want a sack with that?" I was like, "A bag? Yes, I would like a bag for the groceries, please."
You say a
I couldn't
bag?
figure out
It is weird,
what she's
isn't it?
talking about.
Like soda pop or pop. Would
Or-
you like
Yep.
a pop?
Or
I was like, what?
dresser
I was
and
like,
bureau?
because we called them sodas
And here they call them Coke.
or
Yeah,
soda
now there's
pops.
some places they'll just say Coke. You want a Coke? Sure. What kind?
Yeah, I'll have a
Coke.
double burger and a liter of cola.
or Sun Tea. That was another one that I wasn't familiar with.
Sun tea.
Like, well,
Oh,
what's the
Sun
difference
tea's
between
amazing.
tea and Sun Tea?
Oh,
Well, it's cold. I'm like, cold tea? Are you crazy?
yeah. Well, you're from the Northeast.
And I
Nobody
was
drinks
drinking
anything
iced
colder.
coffee all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
a-
you have to,
A lot of
because
people
if-
here were like, iced coffee? Are you nuts?
No matter what you drink that's hot in the Northeast, it's gonna get cold.
Yeah.
So you get used to drinking ice anything. But I didn't know that they called it that or it was a thing.
You know, I didn't even
It was
think of
supposed to
that.
be hot, but it had somehow,
You're
while it
right.
was in the glass, become cold.
That's, and I didn't even think of that. That makes so much sense now. Because Auntie Cheryl, I don't know, she always, for family gatherings, she'll make 2 or 3 gallons of iced coffee because everybody in the family drinks iced coffee, and it is delicious.
Which is basically coffee milk.
It is, basically.
It's not just a cold coffee with ice in it.
It's creamy
It's
and
ice
delicious.
milk. Yeah. Now, how far did you go? How many different states did you go to?
I've been to pretty much all of the United States except for I think like Maine and New Hampshire and Alaska.
Oh,
Just a couple of states I didn't get to.
did you spend much time in any of them, or were you passing through most of the time?
No, mostly I just travel around.
Yeah, so you were passing through on the road.
Cheaper that way. Just stay on the
Yeah.
road.
Where'd you stay?
Wherever.
Like, did you stay?
Sleep
with
under an
people?
underpass.
Oh, you did.
One time I traveled with a truck driver for a couple of weeks, stayed in his cab, and I don't know, just wherever.
I'm surprised you didn't have any standout moments, sleeping under a bridge or, driving around for a couple weeks with an interesting trucker, or, because you'd think that at somewhere in there, you'd meet some very curious, unique individual along the way that would just stand out to you, or somebody, or some moment where you realize that you had to be alert and concerned for your safety and prepared for what may happen, or alarms.
Oh
are going
yeah, I
off
mean
and
there
things
was a couple of times I had to turn down a ride from somebody because I knew it wasn't safe or something like that. But nothing that's just like was like
Yeah. And did you get everything you wanted from it?
yeah. They and I met quite a few military individuals, and so then I thought, well, that's one area I'm really not that familiar with. So then I went to Marine Corps boot camp for a while to see what that was like, just so I could get that experience in.
Yeah. Did you enlist?
Yeah. I knew how the system worked, and so I went in for boot camp, but then I got out before boot camp ended. So it was like an early entry discharge. So I could have went back if I wanted to, but I just wanted to see what boot camp was like. And I picked the Marines because it's the hardest.
Yeah. Was it the hardest?
Oh yeah.
Was it brutal?
Yeah, we had a guy in there from like the Army and different places where even though they had been through their boot camp and were in there, they still had to go through Marine Corps boot camp. If you go to Marine Corps boot camp, you switch to another branch, you don't have to go to their boot camp. But if you're from another branch, you have to go to Marine Corps boot camp because they're the toughest.
Yeah. They have a certain, now why is it that they have such a different boot camp that you'd have to go through that one? Is it preparing you for something different? And from what I understand,
Yeah.
the Marines are always the fighting men. That's what they do.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. So
That's
you
it.
have to be prepared physically, probably a lot of technical knowledge. Did you learn anything technical in there that might prepare you in the event of war? Because that's really what you're preparing for, is to fight.
Yeah, the boot camp's a lot of basic training. So you're learning your weapon, how to use it, and standing orders, all those types of things. And when you get well trained in an area, it's like I was talking to a guy a while back, and he was in the military. He came across an accident, and he was like amazed at how he was able to do what needed to be done because his training kicked in. And that's where training is so important. EMTs, doctors, all these different people. They hit a situation, their training kicks in. That's why they're able to do those things, because you don't have to think about what you're doing before you do it. You've trained, and so you just automatically go to your training.
Right. Triage and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Triage.
Yeah.
Triage.
How do you feel like you're coming along with this technology, Dennis? Are there any little things that you've discovered while you explored this? Because you're a great explorer, obviously, from what we opened up with, through exploring this technology, because I know you've really played around with it. Is there anything you see that we could practice or try that would be useful to one of the shows that we already have?
Do you have a commercial up, or?
Oh, no, I don't.
You should play 2 of them.
Let's play 2 of them. I don't have any commercials loaded onto this morning.
Oh.
The great thing with where we're at technology now is you can do anything you want to do, pretty much.
Well, I mean
The
that we're
hardware
capable
probably
of
exists.
nuclear,
Mhm.
right? Well, what
You just
about
got to put your mind to decide what you want to do, and then you find out how to do it.
Yeah, and I think we are learning what it is necessary for this type of technology that we want to use. I think that we are adjusting to the delay and how to realize I'm interrupting. Somebody's in the middle of something and they haven't even heard what I said yet. We don't want to bring people on and have that stutter conversation. Where that delayed conversation is, where you're still talking about something else and the conversation has recently taken a turn, and you're still delayed waiting for that turn.
Right. It's just that little pause.
Yeah. And so I'm going to play a commercial, and then I'm going to have another one up, and we'll play it right after that. Dennis, with you, we will be right back. Sorry about that. And we're
So
back.
it ended. And you didn't come back. Where did you go?
Right. And that is why it's good to practice this stuff, because we want to be smooth about this. When we have guests who aren't really aware of the technology and necessarily using it the way we are, we want it to work smoothly so they know what to expect. And I apologize for that mistake.
How dare you?
How dare you?
I dare. I do dare.
Dare.
Oh, I'm going to be in another play over at Stained Glass Theater.
You are. Not
Yeah,
the
they needed
Understudy.
help. Nope, they needed help with this next one coming up. It's a kind of a musical comedy. So
When?
it's July 30th to August 21st.
All right. I might get to go with that one. I don't think I have anything scheduled yet.
What? Which one? Where?
He's doing a play. July 30th?
30th to 21st.
The 20th.
Oh, you playing. You playing.
Yeah, they needed help. I don't know. It's kind of hard to find the time to do it, especially with Access coming up and everything. But
Yeah.
it's not
is
too
difficult.
big a part, so they're working with me.
Axe Fest is coming up, and you have to register, and there's a fee to
When is that?
join the services. It's July. What is it, Dennis? July 14th,
15th through the 18th.
15th through the 18th. We're also at that time we're going to have some competitions. There's a Springburg Sandwich Saint competition. And I mean, you're defending your title of Sandwich Saint Champ.
King. I guess it wouldn't be King,
King.
yet, would it?
Master, ruler.
And then we're going to have a music competition and a talent competition.
Awesome. Couple more years, it'll be King. All right. We'll give it a couple more years, then we'll.
Right now it's Highness. And
The
and then it'll be
Sandwich.
Majesty, right? When you're king, it should be, Sandwich Majesty.
Sir. Right now it's Sir
The
Sandwich.
exalted
King.
one.
Sir Sandwich.
Sir Sandwich King.
Yeah,
Sir Italian
Springburg
Sandwich.
Sandwich King. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sir Sandwich. You just called me Sir Sandwich.
Mr. Sandwich. To you.
Sir Sandwich. That's it. We need to have a crown made that says Sir Sandwich that you would have to pass on.
Right. Well,
or a cloak.
Right, but then it should progress up to King if I can win
scepter.
consecutive years.
We need to get a scepter for the.
Definitely a crown. Yep.
Yeah.
I think a scepter would be good.
Now I noticed. So in my travels, I had this experience out in eastern Tennessee. I was driving through this national park. It's just this kind of cluster of mountains that are a little bit west of the mountains here, part of the Appalachians, I think. And so and there's this 116 that kind of loops up like a frowny face. So it's like this circle of mountains, and then there's this 116
Really
cuts up
sad mountains.
into the center of it and then cuts back down out to the main highways. And it's like a frowny face. Well, there's this one right there at the top of 116 you get to, and then there's this one route that goes north from there and comes out where I wanted to be. And I wanted to go through these mountains. Well, it turns out right there where that one road goes north, it turns gravel. And so you're going halfway through this mountain range on a gravel road.
Well, that was on one of your recent trips, wasn't that?
Yeah. Yep. And so I'm driving out there and I'm thinking, I've got to be in the wrong place. This can't be right.
Oh man,
This cannot be right. And it's raining. There's the part of the road's washed out, so you got to carefully go across it, you know. And it's not washed out enough where you can't get my bike through there, which is a Honda Fury, but you got to be careful on gravel because it'll wipe out. So I come across this people just parked by the side of the road in the middle of a forest in the mountains, and they're both out of their car. And so I stop. I'm like, you know, I got to find out where I am and if I'm going the right way. Well, they warned me strongly against continuing in the direction that I was going.
You may die.
Yes, you may die. People don't usually go all the way through that way because it's not usually passable. And I was like, you know, but will this bring me out to 420? I think it's 420 or 421 or something. I can't remember the exact place I was trying to get to.
If I live, will I make it where I'm going?
Yes, will this, if I make it through here, if I live, will it end up where I want to be? And they said, well, yes, it will end up out there, but you probably shouldn't go that way. If I were you, I would turn around and go back this way. I said, all right, well, and they were hunting ginseng. That's what they were doing. They were picking ginseng. Ginseng. And they sell it. It grows wild out there. Interesting people.
I want some.
To them. I sat there and talked to them for 30, 45 minutes, maybe even an hour. It just went on and on. They were so interesting and kind and friendly, easy and willing to talk and visit with a perfect stranger as though I was a neighbor, a friend, you know? And I had such a great time sitting there talking to them. We talked about everything up to religion. And when we parted ways, it was brother, sister, God bless you. Have a safe trip.
That is awesome.
And I did go the way they had warned me not to go.
And you lived.
I made it through. I did live. I lived to tell about it. Well, I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure yet. Actually.
You might be in a coma.
Who knows? Who knows what actually happened?
And we're your
out there.
nightmare.
Yes. Definitely.
Hey, I joined with another video call, by the way.
You did. How do we do this?
Yep. I don't know.
How do we get them on?
You should see me as Dennis. I think.
All right, let's see what this is all about. Can we do it?
Well, there should be one with 2 on it.
Yeah, I'd say it's the same delay that Johnny saw.
Now, there's one with both of them on it.
What is this?
There he is.
That's not it.
Hey.
Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
I thought there was. Okay, so
No, there's one with both of them on there. You might have to decollapse it. No, go up.
There it is.
Yep.
And so you can bring. Oh.
There you go.
You can hear the delay between the 2.
Now, leaving these links open all the time, is this make us vulnerable to somebody to tune in and watch or to join this, to call in?
No, because once he's on it, nobody
can.
can.
Only one can be used at a time.
But anybody who has that link can open it, and if we are live, they'll come through on that link.
Yeah.
Just like I did. I'd be sitting in the background.
And we won't hear them.
And we won't hear them, but they'll hear us.
Right.
But basically just be like watching the show.
Now, if you want to keep the echo from happening, go to the one that he's farther away to the actual call itself, and which you may have to find.
Oh, yeah, I can mute one of these.
I've got it. I think I just fixed it.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah, I was just thinking, yeah, I could do it on my end, but that's better for you to learn it on that end because
Yeah.
if you had a call or two callers next to each other, they might know how to do it.
We can see the boogies up your nose.
Yeah, bro. There's boogies.
You might think it's funny, but it's not.
It's backlit.
It is back. That's his halo. What are you talking about?
That's your halo. So there's a delay, a different delay between the two calls?
There is a short delay difference. Well, one has to travel.
You're in a garage.
Yep. Working on books.
That
Got
table.
my,
was
my little, got my computers here.
We've got to do our last commercial.
Last commercial coming right up.
Enter the talent contest at Axe Fest. $10 entry, $50 to winner. Axe Media Group.
Your sandwich was so limited. Your sandwich had a lot of butt.
That's fine. We're back. Your sandwich was so limited. Well, your sandwich had a lot of butt.
So okay, so is that what is that called? Line dancing? What was that kind of dancing that you did?
I don't know. I was just so excited about the commercial.
Whenever
music.
you merge it back over, it unmutes both of them.
Ah,
How about now? Are you still with us, Dennis?
I think so.
Ah,
Yeah, but you muted the wrong one.
yeah, clearly.
He's like, clearly.
I would.
Clearly. How about now,
There's
Dennis?
a way that I could use vMix to hook up to you guys on a vMix call, but I don't know. It says I have to have a password for that.
With the
So I'm not sure.
So in your journey, in your expedition of the vMix technology, you've not found anything else we should try to introduce and practice?
Well, some of the things I think would be good for, especially when you have individuals that are wanting to
mean
teach different
exhibition?
things and stuff, share different things would be PowerPoint presentations, some of those types of things.
yes, that's
I think
something I
would
want to
be
play
good.
with.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's I think the next area I'm gonna start looking at even more.
Can we get that Premiere
'cause-
Pro?
You mean
Well, if we got Premiere
You mean-
Pro, I
oh,
think
you
it would
mean
help us
pres-
to practice
Pro
in
Presenter?
Pro Presenter.
Well, I think vMix has a option on an input for
Well, the reason I was thinking
PowerPoint.
about that is because then that would give us an opportunity to become more familiar with technologies that we use with other ministries that we serve.
yeah.
And if we could introduce the same technologies, we would be more
PowerPoint's the most common.
Stacey Wedeke, welcome. Huh?
That's what most people use. PowerPoint's really common, so I think
Yeah.
just using vMix with the PowerPoint solver would be the next step, not having to buy extra software.
Weren't we having some technical issues with PowerPoint, which was the reason for the switch?
No,
No.
there's just you can do more with Pro Presenter.
Right.
I had a technical glitch with PowerPoint whenever I was preparing a sermon. I worked for 6-8 hours one morning getting all the slides and everything together. I had to be at work by 6. And it was 1 o'clock. And I was like, okay, I'm done. Save. Not responding. And then it crashed. Lost everything. Except for my papers that I printed out that had what slide went where. So I was like, screw this. I went home,
Oh, no.
went to sleep, went to work.
So PowerPoint it is. We're going to try it.
Yeah.
Or, well, is it PowerPoint or vMix's
It's-
own version of it?
No, it's got a where you can input a PowerPoint.
And we have that
presentation.
on here?
Yeah, it's an input you can add.
Let's prepare one.
Well, we'll have to prepare a
Next week.
PowerPoint
It,
first.
it takes
Yeah.
a little time, yeah.
Okay.
So we'll have to get all of your
Add an
pictures,
input.
all your pictures,
Yeah.
and we'll
Go
make a
through the story.
PowerPoint. Yeah, we'll make a PowerPoint
That'd be
presentation.
great. I
And then
love
we
it.
got to upload it to the computer,
Okay.
and then
Do the slow-mo.
I've never tried to.
Best ride of the entire trip.
Yep, and it's
Was
all
it
in
2
slow
weeks or 3 weeks?
Steve-O, Mickey Mac is
Do
watching.
you remember? How
It
long
was
was
2
I gone?
weeks.
2
It was-
weeks?
Yeah, you were gone 14 days.
So, yeah. The
14
best
days,
ride
7
of the
hours,
whole
and
2
62
weeks
minutes.
was 8 times slow-mo.
Yeah, 14 days, 7 hours, and 62 minutes,
And how many seconds?
and 37 seconds.
37.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I needed.
I guess that would be 8 hours and 2 minutes and 37 seconds.
So,
Well, and
yeah,
I know
we're gonna
there's a way that I could use my vMix to hook up to yours, but I don't remember how now. Does it ask for a password?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I guess he'd have to get
So
the
that would be
password
great.
from us.
Now, what's the next?
Yeah, I
one?
guess instead of a link, it's a password. That's what I have to do is get a
Okay, so
password
the
from you
next
instead
show's
of a
going to
link.
be a classic episode of something
Oh, because we have an open space until next week.
until next week. So this will be the last Tuesday where we're just playing video. It'll be live next week. The Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, as Dr. Paul would
And
say.
what's coming next
Next
week?
week
Tell us what's
is
coming
gonna
next week.
be-
What's coming next week?
John Pinney and Dwayne Long in
It's your call.
No, it's your call. No, it's your
Yep.
call. No,
And we decided today their catchphrase for
no,
ending their
it's your
show.
call.
You know what it's going to be?
No, it's your call.
It's your
No,
call.
It's time to throw in the towel.
it's your call.
Ah.
They ended with that.
So with that, we're throwing in the towel. And if you join us next week,
And I wasn't the one who came up with
that was me.
that name.
Well,
It's
they
your
had
call.
said it, and I said, "Hey, you should use that as a catchphrase to end your show."
Well,
They said, "Thank you,"
And
for
they
that.
did.
That's good. So
yeah,
it'll
they
be
tried
fun.
saying it was my. Why do people always assume I came up with it? I am the
You
name,
usually do.
so people forget. So
Yeah.
Because you're really
I
full
was-
of it, so
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
full of them.
they're used
since
to
mine
being
was
full of it.
what was the one? Oh,
He's creative. He's full of made up stuff.
what's that supposed to mean?
All kinds of malarkey.
Yeah, malarkey.
That's
That's what
bull.
we'll call it because it's the best word.
So,
Come on, man.
We
Yeah.
might cut this show a couple minutes early on account of I need to use the restroom.
You go ahead. We'll end it on time. Dennis,
All right.
it was really
Yeah.
nice talking to you about your journeys.
You
You know what?
got
You ought to
this.
get a
Yeah.
motorcycle because the adventurer that you are, I think we would have some great trips together. Of course, don't tell your
Yeah.
wife it was my idea.
No, I had a motorcycle once. I don't think I need one. Plus, when I was hitchhiking with my dog, it'd be harder to do with a motorcycle.
Hey, you need one with a sidecar.
Although I did try to talk my wife into selling everything we have, getting a couple horses, and just taking off on horseback.
Yeah, out through where? Out west, right?
Arizona, yeah.
Ah.
We were in Arizona at the time. But, yeah, I couldn't talk her into it. She still regrets it to this day. She should have done it.
I think you're still quite
would-
the adventurer.
Yeah, I'm more grounded in a spot now, but yeah, I was always pretty willing to do stuff spontaneously.
Yeah, and you're ready to take stuff on that you've never done before, like the way you've dove into this vMix thing and learned so much and brought it to us as a, as a possibility. Where for me, I was really quite unaware of all of its capability, and I saw potential with everything you brought up.
I like learning stuff.
Yeah,
I get bored too easy though. I learn stuff and then I walk away from it and go learn something else.
yeah, and then you don't stay proficient with it because you're not practiced at it.
Exactly.
way.
Then I have to learn it again to do it, and I'm like, that's too much work.
Yeah. The opportunity passed. All right.
Exactly.
Well, thank you, Dennis, for joining us. Thank you for helping us practice this technology. And I do think our conversation went much better, and we got more familiar with the delay. And
Yeah, there's
if you're
definitely a
planning on
delay.
joining one of our shows through a phone call, we'll set up a time to talk to you and get you prepared for those little quirky things that might make it difficult to have a conversation with a delay and other things.
And there
that
only
go
has
with
to
that.
be one of you. You don't have to have
Yep.
two of you.
Right. Yeah, there doesn't have to be two, right? Two, yeah.
Yeah,
And I like
one's
the
good.
camera angles there. Well, thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next week.